Welcome to the explainer. If you're building anything with large language models, you felt it. That moment where you realize the quality of your entire product hinges on the quality of your input. So how do you manage those inputs when you scale up? Well, today we're diving deep into prompt management, a discipline that's exploded from a niche skill into an absolutely critical function for every single AI team out there. So let's just get right to it. On the left, that's probably a familiar sight for many of us. It's the old way. It's chaos. It's a jumble of ad hoc prompts that leads to inconsistent results, costs that are all over the place, and just painfully slow development. But on the right, that's where we're all headed. This is the new standard, a structured, managed approach that finally brings order, predictability, and safety to our AI systems. The real question is, how do you get from the chaos to the control? To make that leap, the very first step isn't about running out and buying a new tool. Nope. It's actually a fundamental shift in how we think about prompts in the first place. We have to stop treating them like disposable sticky notes or throwaway comments in our code. We have to start seeing them for what they are, valuable, core assets to our business. And that leads us right here to the heart of it, prompt management. You can think of it as the engineering discipline that finally tames the wild west of prompt creation. It's all about building a systematic life cycle for your prompts, from how you create and version them to how you rigorously test and optimize them. And what's the goal? To squeeze every single drop of performance and reliability out of your AI models. This is the core idea, the mantra you need to adopt. Treat your prompts just like you treat your code. I mean it. They deserve the exact same level of rigor, the same version control, the same careful management, because at the end of the day, they're the foundational building blocks that define exactly how your AI is going to behave and perform in the wild. And look, this isn't just some abstract concept. This has real, tangible business implications. As you can see here, AI is incredibly sensitive to the smallest change in wording. So without a real management system, you're basically flying blind, and that leads to totally unreliable results. And think about it, when you have different teams trying to work together, product, engineering, safety, you absolutely have to have a single source of truth to track changes and collaborate effectively. Otherwise, it's just a mess. Okay, so how do we actually bring order to all this chaos? Well, the most successful AI teams out there are all rallying around a really simple but incredibly powerful three-step framework. This is the practical, hands-on workflow for treating your prompts like the valuable assets they truly are. And it all boils down to these three key stages: organize, test, and optimize. First, you organize. You build a structured, version-controlled library for your prompts. No more scattered text files and Slack messages. Then you test. You put those prompts through their paces with systematic evaluations against clear metrics. And finally, you optimize. You use that hard data to iterate and improve. It creates this powerful feedback loop that's just constantly pushing for better and better quality. So let's dig into that first step, organization. This is all about bringing clarity and control right from the start. A fantastic starting point is to put your main instructions right at the top so the model knows its mission from the get-go. Using personas is another game changer. Telling the model you are a compliance officer instantly grounds its entire behavior in a specific, safe context. And of course, just like with our code, versioning is a non-negotiable. You have to be able to track changes, and when things go wrong, roll them back. And this slide right here is a perfect example of why that clarity matters so much. The before is, well, it's a vague, almost lazy request. But the after, that's a precise, actionable command. This tiny change makes a world of difference. It dramatically reduces the model's guesswork, which leads to far more consistent and reliable results every single time. Now, just because your prompts are nicely organized doesn't mean the job is done. Not even close. You have to test them. And I mean really test them. This means pitting different versions of a prompt against each other, A/B testing, maybe even trying them on different models. The key is to gather that cold, hard data on the metrics that actually matter to your business, whether that's accuracy, speed, cost, or safety. This kind of data-driven approach, like you see in this table, is what really separates the pros from the amateurs. It lets you make objective, informed decisions. So, for example, prompt B might be a fraction of a cent more expensive per call, but look at those accuracy and safety scores. They are through the roof. Without this data, you're just guessing. You're gambling. With it, you're making a calculated, strategic engineering choice. And now we close the loop with our final step, optimization. You take everything you learn from your tests, you take the user feedback, you refine your prompts, and you deploy the changes. But, and this is important, not all at once. A controlled rollout is absolutely key. And you have to remember, the work is never truly done. You have to be continuously monitoring performance out in production, because in the fast-moving world of AI, what works perfectly today could start failing tomorrow. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but can't I just manage all this with a few spreadsheets and a shared folder? And the honest answer is, not if you want to scale. Trying to juggle this whole complex workflow manually is, frankly, a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly why a whole new generation of purpose-built platforms has emerged, and they've quickly become an essential part of the modern AI team's toolkit. Platforms in this space, and Maxim AI is a perfect example, are designed to solve this exact problem. What they do is offer a single, unified environment that brings that entire organize, test, optimize lifecycle under one roof. They provide all the tools your team needs to collaborate effectively and actually succeed at this. And if you look at the key capabilities these platforms offer, you'll see they map perfectly to the workflow we've been talking about. You get prompt versioning to help you organize, you get integrated A/B testing to help you test, and you get real-time observability to help you optimize. It's all about taking these best practices and just baking them into a seamless, collaborative process for your whole team. So what's on the horizon? Because this field is moving at lightning speed. And let's be real, today's cutting-edge techniques are going to be tomorrow's table stakes. So let's take a quick peek at what's coming down the pipeline. Okay, we're seeing a huge push towards prompt management as code. That means treating your prompts just like any other software artifact, integrating them right into your CI/CD pipelines. We're also right on the cusp of AI that can actually optimize other prompts automatically. Think AI improving AI. And as security threats get more sophisticated, things like advanced defenses against prompt injection attacks are becoming absolutely critical. All right, let's bring it all home. If you remember just one single thing from our time together today, please make it this. This is the bottom line. Structured prompt management is not a luxury anymore. It's not a nice to have, it is a necessity. It's a direct investment in the quality, the safety, and the scalability of your AI products. It is the very foundation that reliable and trustworthy AI is built on. And just remember this, it doesn't matter how powerful your AI model is or how elegant your application code is, the reliability of your entire system comes down to the quality and the consistency of your prompts. At the end of the day, your AI is only as good as the instructions you give it, period. So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your team. Is your prompt workflow actually built to scale? By adopting the practices we've talked about today, organizing, testing, and optimizing within a structured workflow, you can confidently answer that question with a resounding yes. Thanks for tuning in.